Hello everybody, this is a Raspberry Pi tutorial and I will be showing you how to make basic traffic light. So let me move it this way so you can see the entire board easily. This is called breadboard, if you guys would probably know. And I've set up the circuit. So basically the idea is that if I push this button, it will send a signal into this line to turn on these lights in a traffic light order. So yeah, I will show you how to connect these. Not like completely take them out. I'll just show you how to put the wires in and small stuff like that. So you're gonna want 3 220 ohm resistors, a buzzer, jumper wires, and a button. I'm using a big push button. You could use one sec. Most of you probably have this button. This button. This is also fine. You just have to replace this and put this in. But I like the bigger one, so I'll be using the big push button. So yeah, a male-to-male jumper wire from the push button to this, and then you're gonna want to connect the other line of the push button, because a push button is going to look like this. One of these prongs will be connected to the male-to-male jumper wire, and the other prong will be connected to this jumper wire that will be connected to GPIO pin 21. Now, these LEDs, you're gonna want to put the shorter end onto this railing, and then the longer end on the other side. And then the longer end will be connected to a 220 ohm resistor, which then connects it to the following GPIO pins. The green one is connected to, let's see, I'm pretty sure it's GPIO pin 7. The yellow one is connected to GPIO pin 8, and the red one is connected to GPIO pin 25. Now, a quick reminder, when I say GPIO pin 25, it doesn't mean like 25 on this. It means the name of it is GPIO pin 25. So I thought I had mentioned that. Then finally, the buzzer. The buzzer, this is a passive buzzer, and it looks like this. The short end, like the LED, should be connected to the railing, and then you should connect a ground to the positive railing because we connected to the positive railing. Then the other end of the buzzer is connected to, let's see, GPIO pin 15 or BCM 15. When I say GPIO pin 15, you can also say BCM 15. It's the same thing. It's just pin 15. That's what it's called. I follow this pin out. So when I say GPIO pin 15, it's this, not that. So with that out of the way, let's get into the coding. So hello, welcome to the coding part of this video. I don't know why it's dot pressed, it's is _pressed. So just ignore that. So I am currently in Thony. So what you're gonna want to do is click the Raspberry Pi icon in the corner, then go to programming and Thony. Since I'm already there, I don't need to click it. So this is the code, and there's no else. So just delete that quickly. like I was experimenting with this around a bit, so just see if there's any other mistakes, which I don't think there is. So let's continue. Save. You're gonna want to make a new file, then name it buzzer working or anything. And this is the code. First, you're gonna want to import from GPIO 0 buzzer, button, and LED. You don't have to put them in 3 separate lines. You could just do like buzzer, comma, button, etc. But I just put in 3 lines. It's either way it works. Then from time, import sleep. Now in this section, we're going to be, one sec. Here, importing modules. Then here, we're defining GPIO pins. So, for example, this variable button is button, since we imported it from GPIO 0, then the pin it's connected to. Now, in your own code, always the pin that it's connected to when you use it like this with GPIO 0, the pin it's connected to is the positive pin it's connected to. It's never the ground pin. I mean, that kind of makes sense because this is actually connected to pin 40, but the name of pin 40 is pin 21, which just makes it a bunch more confusing. Anyway, so we define it and always use the name of the pin. Never, for example, if you go back, you see that the button is connected to pin 40, but the name of pin 40 is BCM21 or GPIO pin 21. So always put the name here. So like that, I've defined the button, the buzzer, the LED, the yellow LED, and the green LED. So if you have followed what I have done, you would use the same code here. So here it's a while statement. In the while statement, we put a if statement. If button dot is pressed, that we imported from GPIO 0 when we were importing button. So basically, when you want to tell it, okay, if the button is pressed, do this, use button dot is pressed. Well, you're gonna have to use an if statement there to tell it later. So if the button is pressed, I'm telling the green LED to turn on, the buzzer to turn on for 2 seconds, then the buzzer's off, sleep for 13 more seconds, and the green LED turns off and the yellow LED turns on. The buzzer turns on for 2 seconds. I want to change this to 6 seconds because it's the yellow LED actually. To make it exactly 10, I put 8 seconds. Then the yellow LED turns off, the red LED turns on, the buzzer turns on. The buzzer's on for about 2 seconds, not exactly 2 seconds. Then we're telling it the red LED to just glow for 13 more seconds. Then break from the loop. After this code, you could add a keyboard interrupt or any other. Feel free to edit on this. But now, let's run it. So I've just logged on and connected to a Raspberry Pi from a different device. And I will be running it to show you that this works. Okay, let me move over here so I can see the light better. And there you go, this is gonna stay on, then it's just gonna quit the program. So, there we go. Now I'm pretty sure it won't work if I press again, and I'm right. You're gonna have to click run again and press the button. This is basically what they do with traffic lights, except a lot more complex because there's multiple users. Hope you have enjoyed my tutorial. See you on the next tutorial or next video.